So, oh, you know what, let me just share. Can you see my screen now, please? So there's, with Google, I have to kind of, going back to the charts might be, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Blessing. I assume you can see the presentation. I'll take that as a yes, because with Google Meet, you can't really see, or I did the entire screen, so I might not be able to see what we're saying. So we're here to talk about what it takes to be a successful and effective product manager. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Fiyinfoluwa. So maybe we should just play like a quick game. I'm sure we all know that. So I'll tell you guys 2 things about me and 3 things about me. Then you guys will tell me the one that is a lie. So let me do that. Let me stop sharing actually and see a better way to share. So you guys can just type the ones that you think it's a lie. So the first is, let me think very well. I'm the first child. The second is I play lawn tennis. And the third is I'm left-handed. So can you guess the one that is like the lie? Someone says lawn tennis. Any other guesses? Oh, okay. Which one is the first one? Blessing. Which one is the? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I play lawn tennis actually. Yes, I do. And okay, not the Serena Federer kind. Like I've not got into that, but yeah, I'm left-handed. Yeah, so you know which one the lie is now already. So yeah, so nice to have us all here, and I hope we'll enjoy this session. So now back to me, career-wise. I've been working for over a decade, 12 to 13 years now. And I've worked in different sectors, mainly the financial sector. So fintech, financial sector. I've worked in other sectors, FMCG, is that what they call it now? Yeah, things like that. And I've done different things. So from product management, which like takes the bulk of my career, which is about 8 years, to sales, product marketing, so different things, yes. So I'm going to come to share about what it means, not just to be a successful PM, because for you to be a successful PM, you have to be a successful career person first. And I've grown through the ranks. So I've started from like 0 entry level to leadership, and then I'll just share from there what I feel it takes to progress in your career. So yes, let's start. First, I would say there are different types of product manager. So you know there's the growth product manager, there's the technical product manager, and there's the general product manager. So when you talk about good product manager, I don't want to bore you with, I just want to be sure that we're on the same page. It's more people that look at the data, statistics, metrics. They have to ensure retention, activation, all those North Star, all those buzzwords. Yeah, so these are the guys that are really responsible for that. In large organizations, you have people that are specifically responsible for product growth. And you have the technical product manager. Those ones, they might not be able to code, but they understand codes. So they are really into working closely with the developers. Like they work more with the developers. So they can do a bit of coding, they can do a bit of, what's that thing called? Documentation, so things like that, yeah, those ones. And then you have the general product manager, which is what is very popular in Nigeria, where you do everything, plus from looking at the metrics, from doing that, yeah. So I want to take a minute, I want us to try a poll. I just want to know the audience and just have a feel of everybody. So I'm going to paste this link on the chat. and I would like us to kind of open it and just fill it up. So I'll just paste it now on the chart. Oh, thank you. Technical writing. Yes, thank you so much. So yes, so please, can we fill that right now? So just open it and fill that. No, I have to put some of the system. So I can see, I was supposed to kind of share it, but you know, I switched systems, so I can see what ours is. So I can see that we have a lot more of general manager. So, okay, people are still filling. Sorry, I was supposed to show you this one, unfortunately. I'm using two systems, I'm sorry. So 15 people say general manager, 3 says PM, 6 says PM. So we have more general manager. The second one is, so there's a second question. I don't know if you can see that. So what word would we use? Let me see. Can we see the second question? What word have you heard, or what attributes you think you need to succeed as a product manager? So that one thing, I'm not getting any answer yet for that. Still not seeing any. Did you guys see the question? I'm not sure you got the second question because I can't see any response. Oh, you didn't see it. So let's just continue then. If you can't see the question, that's fine. So I'll share my screen again. So I just wanted to know, just to have a understanding of what we think, like a product manager, what you need to succeed as a product manager. But before I start that, let me just put you. I know you guys know this, but let's just refresh ourselves. What is the role of a product manager? Always a product manager. So the product manager is someone that ensures the success of the product. So you're like this. I would refrain from using the word CEO of the product, but yes, because you have a lot of stakeholders here, and some of them actually determine what you do with the product. But yes, you are the mini CEO of the product. So my first take would be the first key thing if you want to become a product manager is that you shouldn't lie to yourself. I mean, you shouldn't lie to yourself on the reasons why you want to become a product manager. So people say, oh, when you go for interviews, you can lie to them and say, yeah, it's because I have the passion, or those buzzwords. Or when it comes to yourself, because sometimes when you lie about these things to yourself, it becomes real that you don't then really see it. It's good not to, I talk to a lot of young people that want to go into product management. And then when I listen to them, at some point, they give you the way and say, okay, it's because it's the new gold, or because the pay is high, or because this, which is fine. It's okay to have any reason. You just have to have a reason. So if your reason is because, oh, it's okay. Because at the end of this day, this reason will be what motivates you. And that motivation is what you need to actually learn what you require to be that successful person or that successful product manager. Some people, they're born with it. One of my favorite product manager is Chris Cox. That's the CP of, what's the name, of Meta. And then when you look at his life pattern or his life, he was a product manager. He went into HR and was successful there. He went into different things before he became a CPO, left and came back as a CPO again. So it was like different. So he didn't really start as a product person, even in his first career. So you can actually transition into anything and it'd be great. So I'm using him as an example because obviously, Facebook, user experience, You can argue that it's not wonderful, but to have that kind of large scale, I think they're doing very well for themselves. So yeah, so the first thing you have to know is that you don't have to lie to yourself. You have to really know what exactly it takes, what you really want, why you are really in that field, and that will be like the thing that motivates you. When the motivation leaves and you don't think you then have the passion, I think it's time for you to leave product management. Yeah. A lot of, before I went into product management, I was in sales, business development, and then permit me to say that there's product management in everything we do, from sales to BD to marketing, digital marketing, whatever it is that we do, there's a bit of product management there. But before I went into product management, the first thing you just hear like a lot of buzzwords and you're like, I don't understand. This is like it's another thing from another planet. You see the dev guys feeling so cool and talking among themselves. And then you get kind of intimidated and you're like, okay, so how am I going to actually navigate this? But as it is with any other career, there are some soft skills that you need to actually make up, even if you're good technically. If you don't have some of these core soft skills, you will not succeed as a product manager. Okay. At this point, I might have to not, gosh, I'm so sorry. This has just been like a bit of a mess with my system. So what I'm sharing is not the updated presentation. I had to work on it. So I might have to kind of switch and talk about something else. So the first thing is communication. Communication is key. I'll talk about that in details. Leadership, learning, emotional intelligence, critical thinking and depth, and then the last one is product discovery. These ones are really things that are more soft skill. We're going to go to the technical competence you need. I don't really dwell much on technical competences because these are things that nobody was born with. Everybody learns. But what I would really want to talk about more is really those things that you need to succeed as a product manager. First is communication. Honestly, the first thing you have to learn about product manager, you have to be a good storyteller. You have to kill that part because as a product manager, you have your CEO. If it's like a small company, and there are different stakeholders. Some of them might like be in leadership, and then you have to. They are telling you this is what the shareholders want. This is what we want to make money. We want to make revenue. There's always that thing between making revenue and what the customer wants. So for you to be able to convince anybody, you have to be a sweet talker, a storyteller. You have to take them, you have to wow them, you have to take them on a journey. And sometimes, obviously, you're not born with things like this. You have to kind of learn it. One of the ways I learned how to tell stories is by listening to people that are actually good storytellers. You don't have to listen to a PM, no. It's just about you listening to them, how they connect the dots of different stories. Now it comes to life. In fact, when you're watching movies, sometimes it could be a good learning point, how these things create into becoming that beautiful story that you're emotional about. These things will help you when you're actually selling your idea. You are the ones that will go to the customer interviews. You're the one that knows what you think your customers want based on your interaction with the customers. So you're the one that can easily tell them, this is what I need to do. And the only way you can tell them is to pass across that message to them. And the only way you can pass across that message is be a good communicator. And for you to be a good communicator to people in that senior level, you have to be a storyteller. You have to mesmerize them. You have to learn that act. I would say, if you ask me the two things that you need to be successful as a product manager, the first two I would say is communication and emotional intelligence. If you have those two things, you already have like 60% of it in the box. Other things are things you can add to it. Now, you also need communication when you're talking to your customers. You have to, when you're doing your customers interview, you hear people say, you have to hear that thing that they're not saying. So that's very important. a key. That's why communication is quite important when you want to be a successful product manager. You have to listen. Obviously, I can't emphasize that. The second thing I'll talk about is leadership. First and foremost, as a product manager, I really know it's more like, it's not even anybody's boss. You are more like serving everybody. So it's really not like, okay, I have to boss this person around, I have to, but even at that, they still see you as the leader, the person that kind of drives the whole pack, even though you are not the CEO. So if anything goes wrong, that's why one of the things I said is you're responsible for the success of the product. Not as you're the one that determines the product, because sometimes even when they recruit you, they already know the product they want to build. They already know yours is to bring it to life, right? Sometimes they don't know the product. That's also interesting. But yeah, yours is to bring it to life. So if it then doesn't come to life, it's your fault, not really the CEO's fault. One of the things you need to do as a leader is to set a vision. Now, it's easy to set a vision. The difficult part is to distill it down. So you have to be able to, a lot of people, especially dev guys, are really task-oriented, not big picture-oriented. So one of the things you have to do as a leader is that vision, you have to break it into tasks. However, you have to also be careful when you're breaking them into tasks. You have to be able to let them understand how this task connects into becoming that vision you want it to be. So you have to be someone that can actually break down tasks, that vision, say, okay, this is how different ways I'm going to actually achieve the vision I have into tasks. Or in that, because I'm always also very working with devs that are task-oriented. You want them to be goal-oriented. But before they can be goal-oriented, you have to let them understand the task they have to do and the value that task is going to add to the company. There, they can then see the picture from there. You have to motivate the team towards a shared outcome. Emphasis on shared outcome. Because sometimes it's just you have a vision or you have what you want to do, but you've not even allowed them. You don't, how will I say, let me say, product manager is like, being a product manager is like you're married. You know, you like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be like slightly a feminist in this situation. So when I'm talking to my fellow, sorry, did anybody say something? Okay, so when I'm talking with my fellow friends, I say that, you know, sometimes as a woman, you pick your battles, right? That's what they say. Even the battles that you pick, the ones that you don't want to pick, one of the ways you can win those battles is to kind of instigate your husband to think he's the one that actually had the idea. So you know that you are going for, you want your children to go to one particular school. You don't tell him about that school. You just be driving, so you know what, let's just go for a drive. You pass through the school, you see one uniform. Oh God, I love this uniform. Before you know, you're just trying to show him things that pertain. You're not even mentioned that school, but things that pertain to that school. Somehow, you kind of, it begins to, the school is in his subconscious. So one day when you actually want to talk about the school your children wants to go to, you say, oh, okay, which he himself might even be the one to know, oh, I saw the school, but he was really not the one that saw the school. You were the one that showed him the school in a funny way. That's how it is too with, especially when you have disagreements in your team, like people don't share that same vision with you. There's a subtle way you let them see. So so let's bring it to products. Maybe there's a particular feature you want them to adopt, or one value you want them to, making them experience it in, so maybe in fintech, making them experience it in like on a Jumia app that is even different might be one way to do it. Having discussion on subconscious discussions about it, because it's important that you not just have an outcome, the outcome has to be shared. So it's only when they share your vision that they share the outcome with you, and then you can actually have a successful product. So that's that about leadership. Let me see if no, okay. Going to learning. One thing you can take out from a product manager is you have to continue. It's just like a medical doctor. You have to continue reading. Especially when you're in the digital world, things are changing. Before you bring out a product, something has come out. There's something disruptive. Everybody's thinking. So that's why you have to keep learning. But the thing, I think a lot of mistakes that a lot of product managers make is they just think they have to learn. So you're in fintech, you have to learn about fintech, or you have to even learn about products. That's okay, how is this product built? But I would say that to succeed as a product manager, you have to have like variety of knowledge. One of the ways that I learn is I go to TED Talk. I listen to different people from different strata, different sectors, different industries, different cultures, and things like that. And some of the best products or fantastic ideas I've had are things that are related to maybe somebody's culture that I just heard on TikTok, and okay, this is what I need. Most of those things I really not even because the more you think about a problem you want to solve, the closer you are to the problem, the further you can get a solution to it. So sometimes it's just for you to kind of look outside what you think you're looking at. That's one way to keep learning as a product manager. You know, I ask questions so that sometimes product management is really not your passion. It's just like, you know, that's the buzzword. Another way you have to then make your passion is keep learning. I have to determine where you're struggling now. So as a product manager, where do I think I need to, what skills do I need to hone? You have to keep learning as a product. I can't overemphasize that. Find out your weaknesses. What areas do I think I'm weak at? And then you turn that into stress. Focus about something that you're just curious about. And then lastly on this is I have to stir up your curiosity. You just have to be curious. Just have, in fact, like you have to just be like a child. My daughter teaches me how to be a better product manager by the questions she asks. I just wonder, you know how children ask, and like these are silly questions, but that's how you should be as a product manager. You'll say, today she asked me, what was that? She asked me about something, and I said, okay, she's still a kid, so she says, okay, what is intelligence? And I'm like, oh, intelligence means you to be smart. And I guess, okay, how can I be smart? And then, you know, questions like that. So that's how you should be like a product manager. They might look stupid to you, but things like this actually lead to you being curious. You have to build that question. You don't need to be defensive and aggressive or question anything, but question things to your own self. Okay, so why are ants walking on the floor? I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying that, yeah, examples, just question things. Okay, so why is this product like this? You know, is for you to even be a good A/B tester, it's part of curiosity. Okay, so why is it A? Why not B? Do you understand? So as a product manager, you have to stay up. You have to keep learning to be curious, and you shouldn't. That thing should never go down. Hey, my favorite part is emotional intelligence. Honestly, it's like the key to it all. And I wish that when I was much younger, I knew this. Maybe, I don't know, this kind would have been my beginning. But yeah, so thank God I learned it somewhere along my career. So I'll just talk about it in three different parts: relationship management, self-awareness. Relationship management, we know that what that is. I remember when I was in banking, and then I was the lead product manager for cards at GT Bank at that time. And there's this dev guy that is always busy. He was like a front-end developer. He manages our front-end portal. And I might want to make some changes. But unfortunately, it doesn't just manage for cards. You know, when you have big organizations where you have shared resources. So yeah, and people keep saying that, oh, Fiying, why is it that whenever you don't have delays with this guy, and it's like the unit head there, so you don't have delays with him, but all our things, you pilot, say, you know what? Okay, I didn't tell them what the thing was, but it was really relationship management. But to them, it was like I was being a superstar. So I noticed that for him in the morning, when you call or you want a question, just talk about his wife and his kids for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. And to other people, it's like he's gisting. But it's worked to me. Because whenever I said that, he talks about his family, he had his son, oh, are you kidding? His mood is happy. And then after that, when I say, okay, and I say, oh, hey, please, I need something. Hey, this thing, what do you think? And before you know it, some things that I need to open, you know, something, so yeah, user stories, that one. There's some things I just, without users, I just finish it on the call, and then I just write user stories afterwards. I do all those small things. So you really need to know how to manage relationships. You need to understand people. And that's why I was saying that it's important when you're learning, not just to learn about product management, listen to different people, because it then helps you understand how people reason. So the chances that you've met someone that one of the people you've listened to, the chance that you'll meet someone like that in real life is like almost 70%. Then it's easier for you to relate with that person, and then you can get your work done by that. Another thing I noticed that a lot of product managers get wrong is they're not self-aware. Humanly speaking, if I'm building I'm the owner of this product, I'm the one that will tell you the next things, the features that will be there and things like that. And maybe let's use like a random app. Maybe for, let me see which app that okay, I saw that Facebook just put on this, you can share a link and tell someone to join a call. So let's assume that they didn't have that option. And I'm like, I am a product manager, and I just love that because Google Meet has that, Microsoft has that, and I didn't do any testing. But because it makes me excited whenever I do it, I would kind of want to push that. But is that aligning with the goal? It might be one of the things we should do. But is that aligning with that goal? Sometimes we are clouded by our own excitement. Wow, so let me give you an example. One in my career, I remember that there was a year before tokenization became a thing. I was like, oh, I went to management. Oh, no, we have to do tokenization. Oh, no, tokenization is odd. When you say Apple Pay, Alipay, and I was like, maybe 7 years ago. Like, oh, no, we have to do. In fact, I twisted everybody's arms. And you know what? If we're not doing it, we've not made it in this world. I twisted everybody's arms, and then started the project with our card schemes, so things like MasterCard and Visa. And then we finished the project. Where I come and test, there was no user. Nobody was interested in it. For me, it was my passion. It was because I knew, oh, what, this is the next thing that will happen. But did I even think that it was, the market was ready for it? I think that Nigerians were ready for it. The contactless cards we are still doing, they've not used this. Why do I think they'll now come and start using tokenized cards? So yeah, so sometimes those passions, they are good, but you have to be self-aware. You have to be able to control yourself first. You have to be a leader of yourself first before you can even be a good leader in the space of product management. The best product management know how to push hard on the right priorities with urgency, but without conveying a sense of panic or stress. So you can imagine going to the hospital and you're not feeling fine, and the doctor just looks at you and starts panicking. Even you yourself, you feel you're dead already, because why is the doctor panicking on my? So that's how it is internally too. So even if there are issues to your dev guy, to your CEO, all the stakeholders, you won't panic. There's stress, yes. There are issues, yes. And that's when you start building that your brand. Honestly, product management brand is important. They look at you like, wow, okay, you're objective. You don't get panic. One of the things I've also learned in the course of my product management career is never ever anything you feel that you have to remember, don't ever put it in your brain. Always have a to-do list, where there are a lot of apps that do that, and you'd be shocked how relieved you'll be. So the first thing I do in the morning, or even when I wake up, I remember I just go and put it on the to-do list, so I can declutter my brain for things like this, so that when I then really need my brain to work, I can get to that part. I'm sure I have to be fast now because of my time. Products. One thing I also want to touch about is product rediscovery. A lot of times we build products, we mix it up with product optimization, but that's different. So product discovery is as you're building the products, you're actually checking on your products. You know, it's just like baking a cake. You check, okay, hope this is there, hope this is, hope the texture is all right, hope this is Then you have the people that wants to consume it are going to meet their own way. Sorry, I think that there's like a background noise somewhere. So there are like people that wants to consume it. You go and meet them and say, oh, guys, sorry, the cake will soon be ready. That is how you have to treat product management, your product, the features you're building. You have to keep checking before it comes out. Unfortunately, the world we are in now, honestly, the fast-paced things are going. As I'm thinking about something, another person is bringing it up. So you have to keep checking. Is this still working? Am I still on the right track? Is there something I quickly need to put into them? When I'm doing when I was doing sprint planning with dev guys, I usually try to keep like a time of like maybe 10 hours in a week or maybe 20 hours in a week. And I tell them it's for miscellaneous, so that when I bring things like this, they won't say it wasn't in plan. So I actually calculate the hours. So I know that I know you can't give me more than like 5 hours or 6 hours a day. Let's be realistic. In these 6 hours, these are the things I feel you should do. So then I then remove some of the hours from that 6 hours. So when things I have that buffer when I have to tell them, well, you know what, I need to just help me just change this particular. They won't tell me, oh no, I'll tell them I'm taking it from my hours, my miscellaneous hours, and they'll be able to do that. Then you have to also check in on the two together. So you've checked in on your stakeholders, you're still in line. The market has not moved ahead of you. You check in on the products and the customers are using or your competitors, because there's no point building a product and the competitor is bringing something superior. Do you understand? Doesn't make sense. You're checking in on that. Then you're checking on, does it still align? Because people change too. The only constant thing in this world is change. Does it still align with the two together? So, so as I said, it's not really product optimization. It's actually product rediscovery. As you're building your product, you have to keep building. And that's why sometimes we wonder why some big companies don't build products from scratch. They actually buy some of these products off the shelf, and it's because of things like this, especially when they're going out big. Because they know that if they should start building now, before they get to that end products, a lot of companies, they would have just gone ahead. So yeah, it's important for us to do this cross-checking and keep building as we're building our skills, as we're owning our skills. I'll talk shortly on critical thinking and depth. And you as a product manager, I said it earlier that you have to kind of question everything. That's what really makes you very different from any other product manager. You have to really think deep, and it's easy. Thinking deep is not really thinking, it's just you questioning things. That's the steps you take to become that person that really thinks very deep. And then when you start questioning a lot of things, before you know, it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, then you become a deep thinker. You become you can train yourself to be a deep thinker and very cerebral because you're questioning things. Not just in your own digital space or your physical product space or your FMCG space, but just be anywhere. One key part to my success in product management would always be variety of knowledge. That I said it, I can't oversay it. That you just know little things about every other person's work, because the people you're actually producing anything for are these different people. There are different people that are working in different spheres of life. So you really need to know a lot or a little about everybody. The last one I really don't talk about is competencies. Unfortunately, I wish I could share them here, but this is not the updated slide, so I can't share it. Why I don't dwell on them is that they can be learned. Nobody was born a product manager. Everybody learns these things. And some of it, I'll just list some of the things I feel that you need. Some of the key technical competencies, if I should name it that way. You have to know how to conduct customer interviews. I said it earlier that you have to be able to, you have to know that thing that the customer is not saying. You know, I'm sure they must have taught you during your product management, this community, that when you're asking the questions, you start getting the real results or the real answers after like the third why. So the customer says, they say, okay, but why then why again? And the third why really show you what it is. So you have to be good with customer interview and user testing. And when talking about user testing, that's where your A/B testing comes to play. Some users, so you have two solutions or a solution. You then have like a variation to it and test which hypothesis you think the customer will come into. You have to be good with your sprint planning. There's this argument, people ask, as a product manager, should I know how to code? I don't know how to code. I can read codes a bit. I can, or I do not code. That's where your relationship management skills come in. That's where your interaction with people come in. You have lead engineers that can tell you, okay, how, you might not be the one to do sprint planning, or you might be able to, if you're the one, then you lean towards them a lot if you cannot code, because tendencies are, most of these junior dev guys would always, a lot of dev guys now, honestly, those people have like 3 or 4 jobs, so one in America, one in Europe, and one in Nigeria. So if you are not shining your eyes very well, your own will suffer. That's why you kind of need to have an understanding that, okay, so if I want to do login, sign up, all those those part of the user story or onboarding, or KYC, how many hours or how many days do I think is going to take? Things like these are questions you can ask from like a lead person or lead engineer. It might not even be your, you have tech friends outside. You can ask them, so that will help you with your sprint planning so that you're also effective with that. I'll say your prioritization has to be on point. But a lot of people do the features of the products. That's how they prioritize. I would say it should be more on value. Think about the value you want to, because, and it's also important to think about it in value, not feature, because customers' value or needs, they change. So the earlier you start giving out that value the customer wants, immediately better for you, not the fancy features. I once worked with a boss that, honestly, before a product comes to life, gosh, the user experience was like fantastic. At the end of the day, the market moves ahead of us. It's not about there are some things, nobody will get it right 100%. It's not possible. You're not God now. So yes, you have to like be value driven. Okay, so you have to be customer centric, as they all say about product manager, value driven. And that value then kind of transcends into the features of the product. Or it has to be the value you're giving to the customer. That's how you should prioritize. Obviously, you need roadmap because there's just a lot you have to do. So you have to plan well. A good eye for customer experience. A bad customer experience can just destroy that fantastic product of yours. And it could just be that small thing, that small. There was this product I was trying to download something, and then I think what they didn't do is, when you over some of these points, you see what it is. So maybe you look at this says mouse, you over like an icon. I didn't put it there. I was frustrated. I couldn't do anything again. I was frustrated. But that's like the smallest thing. So you have to have like a good eye. That frustrated me, and I didn't use that product again because I didn't understand. I will click, okay, that's not it. But it's just simple over. But it was fantastic. When I got to then hear about what I can do, even though I lost interest later, it was just something as simple as that really turned me off from that product. You have to learn how to allocate resources. That one, the resources are never enough. You have to know how to, you have to study people. That's why emotional intelligence can't be overemphasized. You have to look at people. What's their strength? What's their weakness? Play on their strengths because you have a target. You are time bound. However, you also need to help them with their weaknesses when you can, when it's not going to cost you. So maybe when you are doing your prioritization, there are some products that that must have or could have actually. So like the could haves, and that, okay, I want to play to this person. I want this person to be strengthened in this, and just add something from that to that person on that person's weakness. Not like where you have the must haves. Do you understand? So have to know how to perform market assessments. The big one for me is translating business to technical requirements. So you, as especially general product manager, from the question now I see that a lot of us are general product managers, so you are sitting between business and tech. A lot of time, information is missing from business to tech. So as a product manager, you have to know how to be able to sit down and understand, like a baby, that product. So that it's only when you understand that, I discovered that I can never be a teacher. I can't be a good teacher, thanks to my So that has been teaching me a lot of things. Like I can explain different things. So I'm like, wow, these teachers try. I had like a PTA meeting with them on Friday. And the way they were explaining things to me, how I should explain it, I said, oh, no, this one can never be me. So if you're a product manager, that has to be you. You should be able to kind of ingest things like that requirement so what I understand it like a baby, so that you can then pass that into. Don't forget that there's a basis for everybody. Everybody understands the baby language. You can talk to someone that didn't go to any school, just primary school. There's a basic language, so you understand English. So far you can understand English, you can actually pass across any technical requirements to anybody. So you have to understand that's like the key. That's like one of the key success to you bring out that product the way it should be brought out, the technical success. You explain it to them. And you know, when I was talking the first time, I said you have to sell that vision to them. For dev guys, you have to sell the vision to them by breaking it down into different tasks, but also then marrying it up together. Sometimes in product management, you might not be the one to break the tasks down for the dev guys. You might be the one. It depends on what you're doing. But if you're the one, you're breaking down the task, or you're doing it with the help of the lead engineer, you have to kind of also let them see how it marries or it ties to the old vision. Why that is very important is that there's some decisions that they are coding, there's some decisions that they will make. There's some confusion. They won't be calling you every second. What do you think we should do here? But when they know what the end goal is, remember they are also human. They're also going to be your users. When they remember what the end goal is, then they cannot say, oh, okay, as a user, this is how I would want this to be done. It's easier. Your work is easier done by that. You have to know how to do pricing and modeling. In fact, I didn't know pricing and revenue modeling. I didn't know that was my part of my job function in product management until very late. So we'll finish a product, and the next thing is, okay, so what's it going to cost? I'm like, what's my business? What's it going to cost? Or what should be the pricing for this? So you look at your tech costs, you look at different costs. So you have to be good with numbers, as a product manager. Then you look at overhead costs, personnel costs, and then see, okay, this is what I think is a fair pricing for this. Of course, you look at competitors too. You have to define success metrics, your North Star metrics, and things like that. And then you have to understand data interpretation. People say that, yeah, even though I don't, people say, which one is better? Is it your intuition or data to make decisions? I feel that everything it's arguably, but from my own personal experience, I think it's 50-50. Sometimes we've really lost the human touch, that we've just given everything to data, and we've lost that human touch because we keep forgetting that even me as a product manager, I'm the user of that product. So the first thing is, okay, so what's my intuition about this? Then I look at the data and I use both of them to make decisions. So data cannot be overemphasized in making decisions as a product manager. And you know already that there are a lot of tools you can use, especially for your storytelling. You know, those whimsical mirror, how you draw those your all those flow charts, all those things that you draw. Yeah. So I know you know a lot of all those what's the name, applications that you can use. Jira, yeah, you have to learn how to. They're all simple actually. It's only when people just say, yeah, Jira, are you kidding me? Jira is, when you look at like, wow, that is so simple. Anybody can learn it. Let's not be overwhelmed as a product manager, especially for the people that are just entering into that field. Most of these things are buzzwords. Nobody was born a product manager. Everybody that became a product manager learns on the job. Even the best of them learns on the job. So that's with any job, the first thing is never be overwhelmed. When you start becoming overwhelmed, then you cannot succeed on that job. And then lastly, please make sure your personal brand is intact. The way you carry yourself sometimes is the way they will treat you. In any product manager, sales executive or CEO. That's why you have, I talked about leadership, I talked about you not being not panic, I talked about your relationship management, things like that. It's speaking to your brand. Look at your brand. Ensure that as you are starting a job function, anywhere you're going to, you're looking at, okay, what brand are you're securing your own personal brand. That brand will bring you respect, will make people listen to you. lastly, you can be a great product manager and not succeed in an organization. So please, I know that there's a lot of jump ons and all these things. You might actually miss it. You might get into a company and feel like, wow, I felt I was a superstar before I got here, but it might really not be. You might just be the company. Don't lose the steam. See if you can change some of the things. If you can't, look out again and get it right. Let's always be confident, especially when you know that you've put in a lot of effort into getting to where you are. Don't doubt yourself. Yeah. So, and I know that would all be great product managers. Thank you very much for listening to me.
All right, thank you very, very much. And you left us with a very, very strong word. You said you can be a great product manager and not succeed in company. That is deep. That is really, really deep. And when you said it, my head just went to different places. And when you now said, it might not be you, it might just be the company. And truly, I can actually, and like that just blew my mind. Like I don't even know what to say. I'm just short of words. Thank you so much for this awesome presentation. It is boom. Thank you so much. We have a hand raised. I don't know if the hand is raised from a mistake or it is just raised for a question. And the question and is the hand raised is Kenny Oni. Hi Kenny. All right, that was a mistake, I guess. All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Faye. It's just been an awesome experience with you. You've opened our mind to love, a lot of everything, right? And I'm just glad to hear from you. I'm glad to learn from you. And I believe, everyone on this call right now is also privileged, right, to learn from you. So we have a hand raised, and the hand is BEL Fitla. So guys, quickly ask your question so that Mrs. May can just give us the answer so that we are not we're not wasting time, right? Thank you. B, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for this opportunity. And um, greatly, I'm impressed about how you've gone so far in product management. But my question is based on the last statement you make that products can the product management might be great, but it might be as a result of maybe the company they work with. From your own experience, what how do you tend to, I don't know whether you have switched roles from companies to companies. How have the culture been for you there with the work you are doing? How has it been for you basically? Has it been challenging? Has it been the ones that okay, the culture is not really okay for you? How do you tend to navigate those periods? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So yes, I've worked in 4 different companies, and honestly, there's been a culture shock sometimes. I try to do my best to kind of learn about that company before I go in, but a lot of times you really don't know what you're to expect. So the first thing I'll say is when you're going, this thing works for me. The first thing I even want to go and resume in a company, you have to make a statement. Like, you have to really make a statement. So the last company I worked with, this company I worked, where I'm working right now, the first day I came in, immediately I entered, it might just be very big, very vain. And then people are like, wow, see the bold hairstyle she has, see this. Not enough, they put me in one pedestal, they put me somewhere already. And then, so when I was talking about speaking to your brand, you have to know that you have a brand. You have to keep that brand, regardless of what the culture of that place is, because you should be true to your brand. You can't fit into every organization, it's not possible. I didn't fit into it. There was an organization I only stayed for 6 months and I left. I didn't fit into it. I tried my best. My CEO called me and said, you know, we're going to change a lot of things. But it wasn't really that, it wasn't about the job, because on the job, relationship management is key, and that's why that's where you can navigate when it comes to culture of an organization, because you work as a product manager, you work closely with some set of people. Having a relationship with them, having emotional intelligence to direct, to like talk to them about some things, to let them see you, trust you, work with you, will help you, but it can't help you very far, unfortunately, when you're working in a bad organization, because you still have stakeholders. Whatever they say still actually makes. So sometimes you just have a bad boss. I remember where I work with, so let me give you a personal example. Where I worked for 6 months, my boss, who happened to also be the chief visionary officer / CEO of the company, she is a very, how will I put it, dot the T's and cross the I's kind of person. So a product does not go out until she has checked everything, all the you everything, as in to the fonts, to the this, to the that. And at the end of the day, you feel like you're really not moving anywhere. You're just there, you're stagnant, you're not moving forward. But I remember that throughout my stay in the organization, she shouts at a lot of people, she insults them. And then she never did. She didn't raise her voice at me at all throughout. So when we are having like my exit interview, that she didn't want me to go and everything, I said, you know what, I didn't raise my voice at you because I knew the first 2 weeks that you came, you made it clear to me that you could undo this job. From the way you carry yourself among people, the way you talk to people, the way you relate with people, the way so things like that. So honestly, in life, or even in any job, from I've done BD, I've done sales, I've done head of cars, I've done different things. The only thing that's been stable, that has made me survive in everything, from hashboard to not so hashboard, is actually your brand, your own personal brand that you've kept for yourself. The way you talk to people, the way you carry yourself, the way you. Because in organization, you have a lot of smart people. The thing that would distinguish you in that is when people like you, taking liking to you. And the way they can take liking to you is when you're emotionally intelligent. You don't need to like everybody. You have to let them like you as a product manager. Let them even if they don't like you, let them respect you. Then when they do that, all these cultural things it might shock you. You might not get as far as you want to get. You might not make that far impact. But it won't then really destroy your confidence, because you've set the precedence already, and nothing can happen to that. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
He said, I see a question, what personality type is best suited for a PM? How can an introvert PM succeed as a part? So it really doesn't matter. Even even if an introvert, there's something that makes you happy. I hear people say, I don't talk. But when they're with their mom, their friends, they kind of talk. So first and foremost is you have to get that passion. When you're passionate about something, you want to talk about it. You don't need to be a talkative to actually have emotional. In fact, all you need to do is, you have to talk as a product. No, that one, see, if you cannot talk, actually, you can be an introvert. But when you're going to work, you breathe in, breathe out, and say, you know what, I have to talk a lot today. You breathe in, breathe out, and you don't have to talk a lot today, because that is what you do as a product manager. That takes like 60% of your job. They're talking to the PMs, other PMs, you're talking to sales, you're talking to business, you're talking to dev guys. Some people have long words. Everything I've said now, someone can say it in 2 lines and it will still make the same effect. Some people can just say in 1 line. So it depends on you. If you're an introvert, you can just have like a short, concise way of saying things. But you have to know how to talk. You have to kind of, I'm not saying you have to be jovial. You have to kind of be cool. I don't know how I would explain cool. Cool. First and foremost, as a PM, you know that other people in the organization already feel threatened because they feel that PMs are bossy, are this. So when you're not like forming introverted, it's like, okay, people can misinterpret that as being somewhat also bossy or cocky or queer, whatever that can be. So it's in you, you have to kind of open up, be nice, just courteous actually. Yeah, courteous is the word. Courteous, oh, hello, hi, how are you? That also breaks there. Even if they don't talk, oh, no, it's actually very courteous. Doesn't mean I have to be a talkative to be a good PM, but you have to talk. Yeah, I'm courteous. Yeah, that's the word actually.
All right, thank you very much for that one. So guys, if you're an introvert and you want to succeed in PM, just be cautious and stick to everything that Mrs. Fiyin has said, right? I would not want to, go over that again. We've heard it ourselves, right? So we have 2 hands up, and I think those are the 2 hands we'll be taking for today for this discussion. These are the last 2 hands we'll be taking. If you have questions, you can always reach out to Mrs. Fiyin, or you ask your question on the community. So we're going to be taking Kende Ajayi and Kende Oni. So let's have you, Kende Oni. I don't know if it's Oni or Oni. So Kenny Oni rather. Please.
All right, hello. Good evening.
Please go ahead.
Hello, Ken.
Thank you very much for I came in a little bit late, but I got a few things. So I want to ask, I have 2 questions. So just, what would you say is the best way for one who is just about to start trying to get into that space? And so okay, personally, I'm trying to get into this space. I've been doing kind of like a lot of learnings, right? But I'm really not sure how to get into a space, a role, or I'm looking at internships, but I'm not sure. But I'm still in the phase of currently learning as much as I can. And yeah, so that's the first question. And the second question, what would you say is the career progression of a project manager? I'm thinking of it in this way. Is it I decide that I want to work in a company A for a year or 2 years, and I leave, go to the next company as a product manager? Or what would you say, or is it tied to the personal aspiration of the product manager? Those are just 2 questions that I have.
Okay, so thanks. So first and foremost, the unfortunate part in product management is there's no, the more you learn, there's nothing that can actually prepare you for what you get there. It's just like an exam. You learn, it's good to learn. That's like, you have to learn every day. That's like the life of a product manager. But as you come, it's just like you're a doctor. You've read a lot of books. You get into the theater, things can go wrong. And in the community, or like the country we are in today, they want you to have at least an experience, because they know that the book, people learning and people impacting that knowledge is different. So you see some people, they had first class, and then you're working like, I thought you had first class. You can't even, application is different. So it's going to be fantastic if you actually learn and then you can then apply it. That means you're a superstar. So to break into that, I would say that my answer would be internships, because in Nigeria, nobody really wants to take, how do I put it? They don't want to take a bet on you. They would ask you for, okay, the things you've done. They won't have examples of things you've done, how you've done this. That's a way. The second way is there's a way you can also position yourself. Kenny, can you just tell me what you do? As in, like, what exactly do you do now? What's your role now?
Currently, I'm a creative. I'm a photographer.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm looking towards I'm moving into that space.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, because sometimes it's just the way you package these things, the way you talk about your what you do as a photographer or as a creator of things. There's a bit of product management in everything we do every day, from how you plan, you prioritize all the words they want. Okay, so I don't know how creatives really work, but I know that, I don't know what part of creatives you're working with, but yeah, so you could marry all those things together and make it into a beautiful product management story from what you've learned. But my best approach for you would be internship with some organizations. That will give you first-hand experience. That will not short you. That will not sell you short. So what happens is, if you package yourself, now and you go into an organization, most likely they'll look at your level of experience and then just say, you know what, you can start from maybe level L1 or L2, whatever. But when you go for internship, you learn everything you want to learn, 6 months, 1 year. When you're coming out to package yourself, because you know these things, you can easily get clients and others. So maybe what you then is like, I'll start looking out during that place. Internship. And when you're doing internship, please be hungry. Let them be in their face. I want to do this, I want to do that, because you know what you want to get out of it, right? Yes. The second question, honestly, I thought I had it, but I can't remember again. I'm sorry.
All right. Yes, so I said, what is the career progression of a project manager?
Oh, yeah. So the career progression of a product manager, it's interesting because you've worked with different organizations. So my last product management, I don't really do product management again. My last product management job ended in when was that? In August, yes. Where I am now, I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer. Now, it's easy for me to move around or to kind of, because I work with sales, I work with business, I work with risk, I work with, so you kind of work with everybody. You are then the person that then decides to choose your career path. That's the interesting thing about product management. You can decide that you want to be the Chief Product Officer. It's also a career path. You can say that, okay, I want to be the CEO of this company. So then you then look, okay, so if I want to be the CEO of a company, what they really need is really not a technical person, it's more of a business person, right? As in your product management space, you then try to, without making your product management tougher, try to work more on your business, the business side of whatever it is you're doing. You can, when you're free, you're really not free, but if you're free, you can say, okay, you know what, let me come with you to sales calls, let me come with you to this. All these things will give you experiences because you know where you're going, where you want to be. So that's what I really like. With product management, you can actually go into any sector because you have like an understanding of that, just for you to hone your skill. And guess what? When you tell a salesperson that I want to follow you, they're happy. They want you to go with them. So it's really what you want it to be. You can decide to be product manager for the rest of your life, and then you can become the CEO, the chief risk, or anything you want to be, because it's embedded in what you do today. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, CD, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Let's quickly have Kendi Ajayi. Hi, Kendi. Please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question very quickly, please.
Good
Thank
evening.
you.
Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good
We
evening.
can hear you.
Yeah, I did, ma. Trust so good. All right, thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you so much, ma. Actually, going into the product management space now. I've been doing a lot of courses, study, researching, and there's something I learned about product management. It says the popular three rings that says that a product manager is someone that stays in between UI and UX, tech, and business. So I'd like to know, is it actually necessary for a PM to have a particular to have one of these three skills before he can be successful in product management? And my second question is something, there was a time I found out just yesterday during my study. It says a product management must have a good product sense. So I'd like to know what is actually a product sense, and how do you build a good product sense?
Okay.
Hello, ma.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Yes,
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So your first question was you want to go into product management, and so you were breaking in. I don't know if it was my network, but you're breaking in intervals. I get a second question.
Let me
of product
just
sense.
make.
Okay,
Okay, let me
the
just
first
shorten
one.
the
Hello, can you hear
question.
me? Okay.
Okay,
Hello?
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Blessing.
Right. Kenny, I'll just go ahead for you. The first question, then you can
All right,
go
all
over
right,
the
thank you.
second question. The first question Kenny asks is, as a product manager, do you need to have knowledge of UI UX? Do you need to have a knowledge of business before you can succeed as a product manager? Because he is just looking to transition. So is it
Okay.
very important for him to be knowledgeable in UI UX and be knowledgeable in business?
Okay. So honestly, it's not very. When I was talking, I said some people say as a programmer you should have technical skills. It's not very important. Then I would explain what I mean. As a product manager, you should be aware, let me put it this way, aware of yourself. So when you are looking at a product, most likely, a lot of people think almost the same way. Most likely, the things you don't like in a product is what people don't like. So when you come to, don't let me call any app, you come to one app, say, hi, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So it's the same thing. So don't forget that some of these things, UI, UX, this, it's really what I am as a person or what the customer is. So for you, you're looking at your UI, you look at, oh, this font is not very clear. Honestly, that's what might just kill it. See what I was saying, that for me, what I didn't like is the overing button. I'm sure everybody knows that too, that, oh, when I hover this icon, I should see what it is, but it wasn't there. So some of this UI, UX are just common sense, small things that you can really relate with. It's for you to be open-minded. You have to learn about them, yes. But as I said, you can't really learn until you actually practicalize these things. And the funniest thing about practicals is more common sense than actually the buzzwords. The learning is important to 100%. It makes you, it's just like, even if you are smart, and then you want to go for an examination, you don't read, you get 50 over 100. You learn, you read, you get 90 over 100. You might still pass regardless, but then to be that successful, you have to add the learning to it. You might not have like the practical examples, but when you have these things at the back of your head, somehow it comes out in the way you do. So you don't really need to read about it, learn about it, but you need that practical knowledge before you enter into it. Not really, because even if you have every industry. I've gone through different industries. They are so different. What they look out for is different. I remember I was working on one app that for the financial part, it was more, I would say, alignment would be somehow, but that app, because it's not financial. In fact, okay, so let me say example. For financial app, the first thing you have to do is log in, know your KYC. But the app I was working on, in fact, if you now say login, you kill that app. So for everything you need to do, whatever company you're going to, whatever products you need to do, it's going to be different from everything. So imagine me coming from financial, say, this product, we have to log in, and I've killed the app. So it's more of you understanding the customer, not even knowing the UX, UX, whatever. You might know it well, and you don't know your customer, and you've still failed. That's it. The second question you asked was about product sense. And product sense is tied to what I just said now. It's just for you to kind of, what that product you want to, like, what it means is like your judgment of that product. You have to, I won't say product sense is the first way to even start. I would say it's about you understanding your customer first. Then when you understand that customer, then you can now think about the products you feel the customer needs. It's just like how, like, let me use our normal sense, like normal something relatable. For your nose to work, there must be a smell. So for the product, so if there's no smell, if you just bland air, you can't smell anything. So product smell is you actually smelling that product that customer needs to kind of solve the problem. And I feel we should know about some of these things, because in our everyday life, you even going from here to go and buy something somewhere, there's a bit of product in this because you've made a lot of decisions. Okay, how will I solve this problem? Okay, is it bike? I'm going to take, okay, there's no bike again. How then do I get this in 5 minutes? So that's how it is. When we start looking at how we want to solve customers issues bit by bit. Then we then bring out that big idea. But when we look at it so big, products is it's a boss big one. They really do not care. You get overwhelmed already by it. Break it down, think about it. Remember, you're also a customer. Put yourself into that customer's shoe. If it was me, what do I think I would do? Then you build from there. So that's really what product sense is.
Well, thank you so much. Clear.
All right, thank you very, very much. I believe that
Thank you.
answered your question. Yes, it's been an awesome session. Thank you so much, Mrs. Fee. You've enlightened us, you've blown our heads, and we are so gassed. Thank you so much. The whole team at Enoverlab also sent their greetings and said, I should tell you thank you. Like, everybody's super gassed, and we're just privileged and happy to have you come speak with us. However, we have, I think Banji is on the call, so I'll just I don't know if Banji will be willing to say something so that we can just quickly finish. Hi Banji, are you there?
Yeah, hi Blessing, can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Blessing. Hi Mrs Fiyinfoluwa, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. This is about 1 hour, almost an hour 30 minutes already. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry,
for giving us
I
this
had
time.
technical issues, so I'm sorry about that too. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you for spending the time with us. I've been listening in and picked out a couple of important things. And I think if there's one of the things that has actually stood out for me from this conversation, a lot of the things that would even make one to have a successful conversations, a successful product manager career is not even tied to product management process in itself. Right, I think you talk about personal branding, you talked about leadership, you talked about emotional intelligence, how you carry yourself, and those things, just processing it through my mind, I'm beginning to see how they actually play out in real life. Coming from my personal experience too, and how my career has come as a PM has not really been about all of the product management process, which I think many times a lot of entry-level people, they are so particular about the processes in itself, and it's not because it is bad, but again, just from your conversation, I think that's one of the major things that I have picked out, that it's not just all about the PM process, which obviously is important. You have to know all of the processes, you have to be able to do all of the processes, but like your one's foundation is not built around the processes, because again, processes can even change, tools can change. How we do product management can change. 10 years from today, we might not be doing it the same way we are doing it now. And and because again, the way the world is changing, one cannot just even hold on to any particular process like strictly or strongly. Just learn it, understand it, and just build around your strengths and stuff. So I really appreciate this, Mrs. Fee. I am very, very appreciate this conversation that you've given to us this evening. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas and helping us to understand that. I know some of us now will just go from this conversation right now, and you'll be able to look at our careers and say, okay, what's the next step forward? What are we focusing on forward? And it will help us make better decisions as we go out from here. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It was nice speaking with you all. Thank you so much. Am I allowed to leave the call now?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
Thank
can.
you so much. Yeah, bye.
Yes. Bye. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you on the community, right?